Hi all, this is Annie B and welcome to my channel. I want to show you what I made from the January Curated Bead Box. I received my box the last of each month, and for the month of January it came in on the 28th. I've seen the reviews of the box, so I knew what was coming, so it wasn't a surprise to me. But nevertheless, I'm always excited. Now, when I get my box, what I like to do, I do recycle the box, and I like to take the label off of the box and I'll fix it to the invoice that comes in the box. So if I need to make reference to it, I'll have it all together. And as you can see, this is a $20 a month subscription. And the curated bead box, it comes with lots of glass beads. And it also contains a finder starter kit. And that finder starter kit, it includes things like crimp beads, elastic, beading wire, memory wire, head pins. You get jump rings, ear wire, and then you get some lobster clasp also that comes with this box. Now, this month theme is a vintage dream. And when I think of the meaning of the word vintage, I think about something being old or antiquish, like your clothes in your closet. We have vintage pieces depending on your age. We have vintage pieces, but your clothes never go out of style. You leave them in that closet long enough, they will become stylish again. Okay, so we can get started. Now, from this box, I made a 4 necklace, 3 bracelets, and 4 pairs of earrings. And as you can see, I have items left over for future projects. And can't wait to get started on some of them. But this right here, this is a crackle bead. And I'm not a fan of a crackle bead, but I made a bracelet out of it, and I may be changing my mind. It's quite nice, and I'll show that to you in a moment. But these, as I said, these are the items that I had left over from this month's subscription. Now, I like to number my items when I make them so it's easy for me to reference them when I'm looking back for something. Now, this is necklace number 1. Now, for necklace number 1, I use the lamp work beads. In the packet, we had 5 beads came in the packet, and I use these are some glass beads or spacers or whatever you would call them. They came in the bargain bead box, but they never did label them to tell you what they were. So I'm just calling them a glass bead. And I made connectors out of some silver balls, and I created this pattern all the way around this particular necklace. Now, what I also did was I used the larger chain. I used a larger chain in this for this particular necklace. I tried a smaller chain, but it didn't look good. So I brought them together with the crimp cover and wire guardian. I always thought a wire guardian, it looks nice, but if you don't have to use them, this is just my preference. And I used a metal spacer, a large ring that I had in my stash, and I connected them all together to create this piece. And I use a clasp here to close. I use 2 jump ring and a clasp to close this particular necklace. And it is lovely. Now, this is a 20-inch necklace. So now this is necklace number 1. Okay, this is necklace number 2, and this is a 25-inch long necklace. Now, I didn't do too much to this necklace because I used the bronze silver leaf style beads for this particular necklace. Now, this is a white beads, and it has brown coating on it, and it has specks of silver. And I pulled the specks of silver out using the silver spacers here, and that helped to bring out that silver. And I use silver findings as well. I used the toggle clasp for this particular necklace here, and again I used crimp cover and wire guardian to close this, and this is a lovely piece as well. So that's number 2. Okay, now this is necklace number 3. And as you can tell by the way I have it displayed, this is my favorite. Now, for this particular necklace, I use the 6 millimeter rhodonite style beads. And what I did was, this is a 3 strand necklace. And the rhodonite beads has, to me, it looked like little gray specks, and you can't see it. No, it's not going to show, but it has little gray specks, and I created this pattern, and I use a solid row of gray beads, and that just blended quite well together. And what I did was I also used this metal cone. It's a flat cone that was included in this month's subscription, and I used some 11 seed beads, and I pulled them up through this particular cone, this flat cone here, and I had a one of the beads as a topping for it. And I joined all of those together, and I brought them together using a textured chain that I had. I have a ton of this chain. I guess I love them so well. I ordered a lot of them, but I created this particular necklace, and it is gorgeous. And I also put an extender chain onto this particular necklace to give it some length if you need it. But the texture chain and the grayness and the silver, this is a lovely piece. So that is necklace number 3, my favorite. Now this is necklace number 4. This is a simple beaded necklace, but for this one I created a charm. I had some this leaf pendant in my stash. I don't know where I got it from, but I use it to make this particular pendant here, this particular charm, and it is lovely. It goes quite well with the dusty pink, this bronze color. I use one single bead, and I enclose it with some 2 bead caps. I had this little angel wing, and I had some bronze spacer beads that I use, and I use those bronze spacer beads throughout this necklace, and I particularly wanted to put it right along in that section right there, bringing the little charm here and all of this together, and that just brought it up quite lovely. And I used the bronze spacer to create this particular pattern. Now I wanted it to be a little longer, so I added some chain, and that gave it the length that I wanted. And I use a bronze toggle clasp on this necklace as well. And this is a lovely piece. Now that is the end of the necklace. Now we will go now into the bracelet. Now the bracelet, as I stated, I use this is a crockle bead. And I said I'm not a favorite of it, but after making this bracelet, I may be changing my mind. I used some bronze spacers, and I had some wooden spacers as well. And I used it in between each one of the beads. And I had some wooden beads that my daughter brought me from Savannah, Georgia. Now, these wooden beads, it goes quite well with the spacer. Now, when my children go off and go out of town, I always ask them to go and bring me some different beads if they have time, if they see a bead store, and they bring them to me, and I pay them back because I want them to continue to bring me things. Now my daughter is good at it, but my son has yet to bring his mama anything, but this is lovely. Now what I also used was the toggle clasp here, and apparently I love this toggle clasp too because I got a lot of them. Now that is bracelet number 1. Now for bracelet number 2, can you guess what kind of bracelet this is? Memory wire. This is a beautiful bracelet. What I use for this one is the brown spot maple style beads. Now they said they are 8 millimeters, but I know this is not an 8 millimeter, maybe a 6 millimeter bead, but it's not an 8 millimeter bead. Now I used a memory wire that was included in the box, and I used the turquoise beads from my stash. Now this particular bead, it has blue little specks in it. Hopefully you can see them, and it goes quite well with this particular color turquoise, and they look like blue on the screen, but they are not. They are a beautiful turquoise color. And also what I did was made dangles on it. I always think dangles looks nice on a memory wire bracelet. And now to make the dangles, these are some pine cones that was included in a January 2018 bargain bead box. And I used one of the turquoise. And this, it looks quite nice on the wrist. When you put this on, it looks beautiful. Let me remove this so it won't take away from the look. This is really, really nice. And when I wear something like this, I like to talk with the hand. This is really pretty. Yep, lovely. Simply, simply lovely. Okay, that is bracelet number 2. Now for bracelet number 3. Now this is a very simple turquoise bracelet. I used the turquoise beads that was included. And inside the box, the curated bead box, you came with these little spacer. And to me, they look more like a messy wrap, these little beads. So I used them to in conjunction with the turquoise beads. And I had a little charm and it says love. And I thought that was quite fitting since it is almost Valentine's Day. And I made this bracelet right here and it is lovely. And again, I have a lot of these toggle clasps. I don't know. I think I must have had a toggle clasp fetish or some point. I just got tons of them. Now, that is the end of the bracelet. Now, let's go with the earrings. I made 4 sets of earrings. And now I'll just go through them right quick. Now this pair of earrings I made from the 12 millimeter dusty pink crackle beads. And it matches the crackle bead bracelet. And now for this one, I use a bead cap from my stash. And I use a metal bead. And I just use an ear hook, an ear wire to make this set right here. That's number 1. Now pair number 2. I use the dusty pink and I just used one of the beads and I had because that's all I had of the beads and I had some little leaf that I pulled together and I made this pair. I used a large jump ring and I used an ear wire and I also used a small little metal spacer here and I wire wrapped them and I made this set here and they are really, really lovely. Now for number 3. Now, of course, this goes with my favorite necklace that I have. This pair of earring is, this is a cluster pair of earrings and I use the rhodonite style beads and I use the gray beads and I put them on a small little chain and I just hooked them on an ear wire and made this set of clustered earrings. Now for the last pair number 4, I use the bronze silver leaf bead and I use a silver bead cap and I use a lever back and I just wire wrap them and I also put just a little tiny silver spacer on top just to give it a little more length. And that is the earrings that I made. And that is all of the items that I made for this month. But what I do want to say is one more little thing. What I wanted to say is that I want to thank all of you guys that have subscribed to my channel. I am overwhelmed with thankfulness. I've been beading for about 5 years, but I've never just displayed anything that I made. And I promise I'm going to get better with this as time goes along. But I have over 100 subscribers, and I am very pleased. So now that I'm retired, I'm YouTubing more, and I'm liking it. I'm really having fun doing this. So I would just like to say thank you, and thank you. And if you're watching this video and if you are not a subscriber, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing and leaving me a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. And I just can't I'm just so overwhelmed, and I just want to say thank you, and thank you. But I never like to leave. I always try to leave you a helpful hint. So let me show you one helpful hint that may that I helped you out, hopefully. And you probably already know this one, but let me show you what I used to put on a bracelet with. Oh, I forgot, but before I go into that, again, these are the pieces that was made from the Curated Bead Box. There is no way you can go to any store and buy all of this for $20. You cannot find stuff like this in a Dollar General store or in any store like of that type. But these are the pieces, and I think they are gorgeous. So hopefully I will see you the next time. But let me show you my one tip for today. Okay, I put down this blue mat because I'm using the some white beads, and I just want to hopefully you'll be able to see it better with the blue mat. Now, when you are at home and you're trying to get dressed and everybody's left you and you're trying to put on your bracelet and you can't do it, what I used to do if my husband isn't here to help me, I would just throw it in my bag, and I would go when I get to the job. I would have someone to help put this on for me. But since I'm retired, I can't do that anymore. So what I do now, if everybody is gone and I'm here by myself, and what I did was created this piece right here. It's just a bead, and I wire wrapped it to make it look cute, and I have a hook on it. I call it my hook and grab piece. As you can see, there is a hook right there. So what I do, I will hook it like that on the jump ring on my little closure piece here, and I would put it around. Now you need to hold on to open up your clasp, hold it open, and by the sheer weight of that bead, it will hold that piece in place instead of having it flopping all over the place. And you can just simply hook it on to that. But now if you're having problems, you can just swing that over, and you will get used to holding that bead, and you would just simply put it in, and there it is. Voila, you can do it all by yourself. You don't need any help. So that is it for Annie B, and hopefully you will come back, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I really want to continue to grow my YouTube channel. I am having a lot of fun. So I will see you the next time. Take care now. Bye bye.